You ever look at some people and wonder how they seem to weather any storm, while others just crumble at the first sign of trouble? Well, it's not magic. It's architecture. Today, we're going to look at the blueprint for building an internal structure so strong it can handle pretty much anything life throws at it. So let's get into it. So I've got to ask you right off the bat, is your emotional house built to last? Really think about it for a second. Is it made of straw, sticks, or solid brick? This isn't about what storms come your way, because they will. It's about the structure you've built to face them. And this brings us to a huge, critical shift in thinking. True resilience isn't found on shaky ground, where we're desperately trying to control everything happening around us. That's just impossible, right? No, it's built on solid bedrock. And that bedrock is mastering our internal reactions. The real power isn't in changing the world outside, it's in fortifying the world inside. Okay, so to build something new and strong, we first have to take a hard look at the old, flawed blueprint that, honestly, most of us are using by default. And here is the absolute core of that faulty design. Our default setting is just to react. Something happens, and bam, we have an immediate, usually uncontrolled, emotional reflex. The problem with this is it leaves our internal state completely at the mercy of whatever's happening outside. That is a very, very unstable way to live. So how do we fix this? Where do we even begin? Well, you start from the ground up. It's time to talk about laying a brand new, solid foundation. The concrete and steel of our new emotional house is something called nervous system regulation. Now, I know it sounds a little technical, maybe a bit intimidating, but it's actually beautifully simple. All it means is the daily practice of keeping your mind and body stable and calm through consistent, healthy habits. This is the absolute, non-negotiable base you build everything on. So what does that look like in the real world? It's basically a three-step path. First, you have to consciously establish those healthy habits. That leads to step 2, which is achieving real, actual physical self-care. And from there, that self-care creates the stable foundation for your mind. So the really crucial point here is that your emotional stability actually begins with your physical stability. All right, the foundation is poured and it's solid. Now it's time to place the cornerstone, that single, most important piece that aligns the entire structure. We're talking about the master mindset. I want you to really let this quote sink in. Maturity, and I would say resilience too, is found in that tiny little space. The space between what happens to you, the stimulus, and how you choose to react, your response. Creating that space and then making it just a little bit wider every day, that is the entire game. And this right here is what you do in that space. You learn to discern what's real. So on one side, you have objective reality, literally just the raw facts of what happened. And on the other side, you have your subjective feelings, the story you tell yourself and the emotions you have about what happened. A resilient mind knows how to pull those two apart and look at them separately. Okay, so foundation is in, cornerstone is set. Now we can start putting up the actual frame of the house, the walls, the roof beams. This is all about how we frame our experiences, especially the tough ones. This is such an essential reframe. Life's difficulties, they aren't happening to you, like some kind of cosmic personal attack. A resilient person sees that they are happening for you. They're lessons. And just seeing challenges that way changes everything. It turns a threat into an opportunity. So this means you have to actively adopt a growth mindset. You start reframing setbacks as lessons. You start hunting for the opportunity that's hiding inside the difficulty. You learn how to take something that feels like a vulnerability and transform it into a new source of strength. Adversity stops being this thing that weakens your structure. It actually becomes the very material you use to reinforce it. So let's step back and take a look at the finished building. Once all these pieces are in place, what does a complete, truly resilient structure actually look like? The finishing touches are all about maintenance and protection, right? First up, establishing clear personal boundaries. Think of these as the good roof and strong doors on your house. They protect your inner space. And second, practicing consistent self-reflection. That's like doing regular inspections, just making sure everything is still sound and secure. And so here it is, the whole blueprint we've just walked through. Step 1, master your internal world instead of just reacting to the external one. Step 2, prioritize physical self-care to create that stable base. Step 3, always find that powerful pause between stimulus and response. Step 4, adopt a growth mindset that turns every challenge into a lesson. And finally, step 5, protect the whole structure with clear boundaries and consistent self-reflection. So look, this isn't just some theoretical model. It's a construction plan. And after looking at this blueprint, the only question left is the one that really matters for you. What is the very first brick you are going to lay today?